That was a magnificent film.
Thank you.
So I have a couple of questions, and then I'd love to hand it over to the audience and see if any of you have any questions. How do you know Judy Singh?
I never met her. She passed before, she passed in 2021. But I read an article, Why Has Edmonton Forgotten Judy Singh? Singh is a super common Punjabi last name. And in that article, there were some pictures of her on the album cover and her parents, so that made me read it. And then I just started Googling her. And I went down YouTube and Spotify, and I'm like, wow, how come I've never heard of her? You know, she had some albums and an interesting backstory. I love the story of how her parents met. You know, they were married in the early, 1920s in Northern Alberta. A Punjabi pioneer and, family that migrated from Mississippi just post-slavery. So, and how they met, all that really caught my attention. So, so that was just sort of an interest. And then, just asked people if they had heard of her. Producer Salman Jacob that I worked with before, he had heard of her. He lived in Edmonton, and he gave me some books on Amber Valley, one of the towns, Black Settlement. Anyways, all of that, I'm like, wow, this could be really cool to dig in. And then I got a producer, Bishke Ahmed, on board, and we approached knowledge, and the rest is history.
Phenomenal. What was it like? There's some very intimate photos, and you got right in with the family and looking at family photos and family records. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that was like, balancing archival and the reenactments and pulling her story all together for us in film?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of archives, sadly. You can see sometimes we had to reuse some photos a couple times. So we had to be creative. Just getting historical archive from that period, like Edmonton, Toronto, Winnipeg. And trying to, we had some, there was an audio recording and the stuff on CBC, and some of those were amazing, just when we thought that's all there was, we'd get a call that they found something else, and do you want it digitized? It was still on film and sitting in the vaults at, Winnipeg, CBC, so that was cool. And NFB, they have some beautiful archives. And then once we kind of stitched it together, one of the last things we did was reenactments, and I kind of really knew what I needed to kind of drive her story throughout the whole thing, so she's not forgotten. And then the music really ties things together. There's over 30 songs in this film. You don't hear, obviously, the whole song, but you hear her voice, so that really drives the narrative too. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I've seen a few of your films, and it really seems that you pour in a lot of heart and integrity and love into the content that you produce and direct and write. That's so much to be the producer and the writer and the director. Do you feel that this film has added to your life or changed you in any way?
Well, it's the first time I've done sort of a music, heavy music and a lot of archive. So that was nice. I enjoyed that. And then blending it with reenactments, and so that was really fun doing that too. I love to do more of that. I think I'm a granddaughter of a sea pioneer, and there's a good chance they even knew each other, like her dad and my grandfather. And it's just sort of like a love letter to that generation. There's a lot of cool stories, I'm sure, that just aren't told. So it's sort of a retelling and sort of a love letter to that generation. And I quite admire her resilience. Her life wasn't easy, but she kind of never gave up on music. And I don't know, you can say the same for filmmaking. It's not easy, but I'm still standing, I'm still here. So I felt that little connection that way to Judy, for sure. Because I think it's nice if there's a story from the past, to pay reverence to that, because there's, like, in terms of South Asian music, especially right now, it's doing so well. Here she was, doing it in the 50s and 60s. And I just love the intersectionality between the two communities at that time, because it couldn't have been easy, they didn't have the right to vote, and it was challenging. Northern Alberta to settle that and homestead that, I just can't imagine. So I like that the two communities came together, and that the Black community was so welcoming to the Indian community. So I thought that was a cool story to share too.
What drives you going?
I don't know.
I think I like curiosity, and I like, I think we have such a rich heritage and stories to tell, and representation matters. I think a lot of my work is based in community. So I like to have like screenings for the community. I like to get input. Even when I start, I'll even ask people when I'm doing research, like, do you think this is a film that should be made, and why? If I ask them to, I had a Zoom with her and other people, and they're like, definitely. Sometimes the stories that people don't like totally, don't make it, like just trials and tribulations, and they tell a bigger story, It's very Canadian, this film. It celebrates a certain time and a place, music, live music, Alberta, jazz, immigrant communities. There's a lot there, I think. And, there's been great films and series, like, about untold stories, and I really love that. So it's sort of my contribution to that.
I think that's something that I really admire about your work. It is the films that I've seen it for was you're showing the legends living among us, or the legends who come before us, and I think that's so inspiring. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm sorry, I also just assume everybody knows who Baljeet is. And the thing is, I can introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Baljeet Singh, radio director and a producer. And this film was made possible by Knowledge Network, and they're here, and you can see it filming on TV on Northern Alberta, on Knowledge Network. And we have 4 screens in Vancouver at Vancouver Film Festival. You can look me up and films that are available. I did when I had a work travel bio, but I did one a couple years ago on hockey called Why Is She the Home? What are you going to do this because you're referring accents. And I'm not very interested in that storytelling. Because fans of anything that's different kind of indigenous, but also not from Vancouver, so have to be that things. Keep saying to her. Oh, I see somebody waiting there. Can I get you a microphone? But just stand up. Or do you want to stand up and yell at him? Is that me? Yeah, sure. I can project that far. Hi, I'm Benji. Thank you for making this lovely, lovely film about Judy. And I was actually one of the instructors for Mallory and Sierra at MacEwan University. I taught voice there for 29 years. But I taught because, and I sang because when I was a young woman in the early 80s, I would go and hear Judy. And Judy would sing with Bill Ames and George Kohler and Mr. Dorn, I can't remember his first name. But I would go by myself. I was a little country girl, and I would go downtown and I would just sit and listen to her, and I would be so
like spellbound by the beauty of sound, her ease of singing, the scouting, which, I just got into myself totally because hers was so great. And became friends with George and Bill and Catherine Heslop, I know really well. So it was a great visit back through my adult life that I saw on the screen there, and a lot of the people that I knew. So thank you so much. And she really inspired me to sing. And lucky me to have heard her so often. Thank you. And so, yeah, I came on the bus.
Thank you so much for coming and with the connection.
Yeah, I came on the bus for an hour and a half from, where I live in Kitts to see this film. So I was super happy to come and see it.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
I'm really curious if there's any more resolve between her and her daughter. I almost feel like, I don't know if her daughter has forgiven her. Seems like there's a lot of hurt there, but just curious if there's any more to that story.
I don't know. I mean, she was very honest in the film, and, mother-daughter relationships can be pretty complicated. And probably, I think having the film and sharing it, and that's a nice way to reconnecting with your mom. And just, they're going to be showing in Edmonton, so a lot of the family will be there, and friends will be showing that energy. So I think that's adding, I think that experience has been really good for Emily. But, she wasn't able to be there with her mom. So, and her mom wasn't doing well. So, yeah, I can't really say, but I know she's been, we were just together at Calgary International Film Festival, and she's like, every time I see the film, I get more and more. And, when people are kind of validating, Judy or their memories. But she was quite honest in the film. It's not like she didn't project like, we had this perfect relationship. It definitely had, some challenges.
I think that says a lot about your filmmaking style and the way you approach Judy, her story, her family, and to have such intimate access to her family, to have such an honest perspective from her daughter, which is something that you would talk about. I haven't talked about my mom, just anybody. So for you to be there and to receive that story around now, I think is a huge testament to your integrity and the heart and quality that you bring to every film that you make. Thank you.
Yeah, it's that's why, like, you just want to be as real as possible and as respectful as possible, and let people speak, from time, space, and yeah. And I think as a film progressed, she felt more comfortable. And when like other relatives, like her brother and your friends. So it's too bad I just never got to meet her, we're really following something in real time that's happening in Judy's life. It's sort of, excavating and kind of going back and trying to, stitch a story together. But I think, I love, obviously the family, but I love, her girlfriends and, this funny story, when she met her, I wish we had, powder that matched our theme. I just thought, she's a funny lady, and she had a good sense of humor, and just the more I heard, and, that she really helped up-and-coming artists, like George Kohler, he's really talented. He plays with, Holly Cole and, lots of different artists. That was one of the first sort of professional gigs he had, and, and he spoke for us forever, and so that said a lot. People got emotional too on her stage, and touched until the end. On her 10, she was up here filming. She had to reach out to her. She would visit her in Victoria. So that says a lot. She really values friendship. Yeah. But I thought also there's a bigger picture too. There's Judy's story, but it ties there's music, history, communities, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you know, and like she moved later to Victoria in Edmonton, you know. She was able to get something, and she was in Toronto, obviously, in Winnipeg, but some pretty cool opportunities came our way. And yeah, and I like that we're able to kind of share that and can read us that. But it was a kind of a really interesting time, I think. I remember we met some musician friends first, and like, there was so much live music. Like this one night, he was a drummer, and he had like 6 drum kits around Edmonton, so he just like hop around to the clubs. I'm like, wow. And I have a lot of friends who are musicians, so I should be able to like, make a living and, you know, have live music and big bands, and that is also cool.
She really seems like a national treasure. I have heard her music, and I had seen that photo of her with the flower, but I actually didn't know who she was until seeing your film. So I think it's really important because you're highlighting this national treasure that was so underrepresented. You music, and she's that phenomenal person.
Yeah, fine, Rosie. I don't know. I'm just curious with those cassettes that Tommy Banks had remastered. Do you say there's any chance that those might be released?
I don't know. They did this one of the record labels that Tommy Banks started YG but so they've been able to reissue a lot of the stuff Tom and Judy had done, but those CDs, I don't know. They have to make it's a possibility. I mean, if they're connected to that label, I mean, they did just put out like the soundtrack out where they submitted one song to Spotify. And so it's a possibility, like, yeah, that just happened because of the movies. So, like, who knows? Maybe they're going to look at those remastered CDs and see what's possible.
I hope so. Yeah, I don't think her on beautiful. It's not good enough for the last of good things. Yeah. Any other questions from the audience? I'm curious, is there anything that you wish made the uncut that didn't?
Oh, yeah, we had, some music that was just too expensive. But Thomas Alexander, he's the vocalist, he's like for contemporary, and there's pictures of them, coming out together. And finally I asked him, like, can you sing like a song that you would do with Judy? Like, can they did a duet? And they did. He sang a cappella, If This World Were Mine, and it's a Marvin Gaye track, and he sang it so beautiful. Like when he sang over filming, and like the hair from the back of my neck went up, I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. And it was at the very, 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 very last minute to let it go, and we just couldn't. It's pretty hard to license more music. And I think the Van said that song, like Kendrick Lamar. Anyways, it was, maybe you should sing that. I should have afforded, but it was so beautiful. And I'm sad to see it go. And then a couple other songs at the end, they just, they belong to Sony, and it was just too much, which takes swapped out. Yeah, that happens.
How did that happen? Do you have those? Like, should we have like a private listing?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think you could probably see, like some of them might be on YouTube, but then when you kind of like, the way you have to get the rights, like we're opposed to the label, like it was all, I didn't do that. We had a music supervisor, but it's quite layered, so yeah. You might get a yes here, but the next no and no. And so it is what it is. But we're big, but it don't matter. Yeah, I really loved her singing because it was just so beautiful. And that was a little lucky. I had to go at the very, very, very end. It's a little possible, but that happens. Especially if you read anything like the Fada Music or Archive. We had to swap things out up to the end too. Just getting the rights, it's just too much. But I think, we have enough, but we made it work. And we had a good team to help. dig again and find something that worked. So I enjoyed it. I'm blessed to the film with like lots of archiving music.
What's next? Like, what do you want to be next?
Yeah, I've got a few ideas. They're all in different stages. Yeah, everything that happens for serendipitously, like, and for me, yeah, so then stay tuned. I don't want to jinx it. Like, I had one idea, so it kind of happened, so I'm going to share it to you. But yeah, no, I have some more dogs, and I'd love to do something narrative as well, for sure. Yeah, I really enjoyed the animations, and yeah, I kind of did short films earlier in my career, so that was fine. And yeah, I think telling stories right now and bringing community together is so important. Like, to the times we're living in right now, it's so polarizing, very anti-immigrant, trying to pit communities against each other. And so I think like having things that share a different point of view, you know what I mean, and open your eyes, your heart, I think really important, bringing community together. If ever there's a time where you need more art, dialogue, and community is now.
Can share claiming true stories of always dropped together. Listen. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for listening. My name is Rosie John Bills, and let's get one more round of applause.
I think I tell so much for programming this. It sort of brings it out, streaming, sewing, and just kind of get the word out. And like I said, I'm going to be premiering on Knowledge Network. Yay! So, stay tuned. And follow us on Instagram, Judy Singh, for more screenings and the launch on TV. And I feel like the movie people, but